Joining me now is author and podcast host Michael Malice. My favorite thing about Michael is that he's a deep thinker. He's a deep thinker on history and on, if not political ideology, political movements. Michael, this is an interesting thing. Who controls the story does control the future. And it seems to me we've lost the story of America.
If you go to most of these museums, interesting what I think it was David Plouffe said, it is Soviet, because you would think the Soviet Union won the Cold War because the museums have a constant anti-American message. If I go through any of these museums in Smithsonian, I would encourage people to do so when they're in D.C., you would think America's a country defined, not just experienced, racism, sexism, all sorts of other bigotry. And this is a terrible message to tell young people, because you and I and everyone listening to this had to fight for their careers. And when you're starting out, it's tough. You have obstacles. Now imagine telling a young person of color, those obstacles are a function of race. The deck is stacked against you. You can't win. It is a very pernicious message to tell young people, and let alone Americans. If you go to D.C., you could see the Star-Spangled Banner itself that inspired Francis Scott Key. That's what we need more of, and less of this constant woke propaganda, which even Hollywood is turning its back upon.
You know, Michael, the issue is whether or not, as you pointed out, one is defined as an individual or a nation by its mistakes and its failures, or it's defined by its achievements. And it's an interesting question when the achievements significantly outweigh its failures and mistakes. The experiment of the United States of America is a singular success on the face of the planet in the history of civilization. It is quite literally the greatest achievement of mankind. And instead, what these people in these institutions have done, Michael, is to say, no, this experiment, America, is defined by race or slavery or suffrage, any of the things they consider to be the ills along the way of progress.
If America is so racist and sexist, how could a simple-minded black woman have gotten the nomination for the presidency and get 48% of the vote just a few months ago? No other country would do that, not even Canada, with their constant state of apology and a well-deserved inferiority complex. The museums are there to promote America and tell America's story. It's not a perfect story. We've made mistakes. There have been bad things that happened. But the American message consistently has been, we're going to try to do the right thing. We're going to stumble sometimes, but the arc of justice in the long term does tend toward liberty and truth.
I really appreciate your turn of words, and I don't want them to get lost in the quantity and quality of your words, but no one is quite giving credit to the American people for not just embracing candidates based upon a wider range of races, but as you point out when it comes to Kamala Harris, a wider range as well of intellectual capabilities. America is truly an open place that embraces people,
yes,
even
sir.
Simple-minded. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you so much, Will.
All right. Hey, it's Will Cain. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Cain podcast for full episodes right now.